North Penn School District addressing concerns from many parents after that brutal attack that happened inside Pembroke Middle School and sent one student to the hospital. You may recall this. And so there was a virtual Safe Schools meeting. We had a safety report. I always want to follow up on this. It's not getting much or any coverage, quite frankly, at all. And that's why so many of you act as citizen journalists. I talk about this all of the time. Parents, voters, people who are aware, you care about the community, you care about your children, you care about quality of life issues. And this is really where sometimes you in the community are the only ones who can give us this information so that we can then broadcast it and make sure that the facts of what's going on get out into the public. So this is another case of, I believe, one of those citizen journalist case that I talk about, as many parents have been activated, especially during COVID, during the pandemic and the shutdown and all of that, shutdowns, I should say. With that, let's get to one of our local moms, who is Shannon. Thank you for being here this morning, Shannon. I don't know if you want me to say your full name, if you mind. I can't remember if we've said it before, but
no, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So Shannon Main, thank you so much for calling in. So I know that this was an anticipated report and meeting, and I've been covering this, and we've been covering it since this happened last April, and then into May. So it was April, then there was a meeting in May, and then, the school year was ending, and they promised to have the report upcoming. Was it odd to you that this meeting was called, it was a virtual meeting, and that it was Thanksgiving week on a Monday night, or is that the normally scheduled night that they would release something like this?
I mean, yeah, that was odd to me. It was a Safe Schools Committee meeting, which was already on the schedule. Mm-hmm. But the part that was odd is that the school district was briefed on this investigation report on October 3rd, and there's been 4 or 5 different meetings that they could have mentioned something about this. Our last action meeting was postponed due to an electrical issue, but there has been multiple meetings, work session meetings, action meetings since October 3rd where this could have been communicated. The other thing was for the renovation project, and after this incident happened in April, there was a community forum about safe schools where they had it at the high school, invited the public to attend so we can fully understand what happened. And the only way we knew about this was it was on the agenda 24 hours before this meeting. The kids are off school this week. I mean, yes, I do think they always say the word transparency. This was a hot topic, and a topic that everyone's been following, asking about. It definitely should have been in person, possibly in a forum type of setting, I believe.
So this has to do with this student was attacked, unprovoked attack in the school lunchroom from behind. It was captured on video at the time. And then the offender, and these are underage juveniles. If I knew their names, I would not report it. I never do, obviously. Mm-hmm. But in this case, the attacker attacked this girl from behind with one of those metal, like a Stanley cup, struck her in the head. It was really a violent attack. I think the local media, I think it's fair to say, poo-pooed it a little bit. I mean, if my kid was attacked and their head, with a head wound, had to go to the emergency room, to my understanding, had some staples or stitches in her scalp. I mean, that's not a light incident. And then even when the juvenile was taken to court, there were reports from the sheriff's office, from the court reports, that the student had swung at least one sheriff's deputy with a water jug, had swung at a sheriff's deputy as well during a court appearance. So this is obviously a problem child that had issues going on. But as far as this goes, Shannon, what can you tell us as far as the safety report and what happened?
Yeah, so I mean, the report yesterday was pretty much what we expected. It was kind of surface details, which I understand the FERPA, the Family Education Rights to Privacy Act, and we don't have to know the details about the individual child because I do think that things like this in our school district are happening where children are getting placed in different schools or out of school placement and back in school placement, which they did touch on yesterday. I mean, North Penn is very big on inclusion. and having everybody included in the classroom. But I mean, to me, even the teacher's workload with managing like somebody with aggressive behavior, I mean, it's a burden on the teachers. It's driving away attention from the instruction for the whole entire class. And I mean, if parents push back and they don't want a more restrictive classroom for their child, I feel like our administration, rather than fighting back against that, says, okay, that's fine, we'll put him back in the classroom. So that's, I think, what happened here. I mean, the student was with my daughter at Penfield and then was out of school placement and brought back into a different middle school, which I think is the biggest failure here. It was briefly touched on by Dr. Bauer. He said that the people involved on that day did the best they could on that day of the incident, which I kind of do agree with. It was very timely, the way that they reacted. There was one incident where they said kids were on lockdown for longer than they had to be the day of the incident, and they mentioned that they now increased the loudspeaker changes. They increased like TV monitors for notifying students about lockdown issues. But they didn't really talk about, and they kept hiding behind the Family Privacy Act. Mm-hmm. They didn't really talk about the weeks and months leading up to, I mean, the transfer of the student to another school from our district. And I believe this is happening across our district often. They did talk about how they want to have a team of like referral process if somebody's coming from, say, the middle school to the high school, having those principals and all discuss any problems. And if somebody's coming from like a private school into our school or from Northbridge into one of our schools. But that, to me, should have been the whole part of the investigation. Mm-hmm. It should have been the weeks, months leading up to this. What was discussed? How was this child brought back into the school district and into the classroom? Did the principals amongst the schools talk? What did they talk about? Who allowed and made the decision to put them back in the gen ed classroom? Mm-hmm. North Penn did talk about how they, might look at some other options as far as having alternative classrooms or increasing the North Bridge to allow elementary kids to have some additional supports of maybe an outside the school setting or the regular classroom setting. But Bauer did mention that he believes that everything that was in the report has now been already put in place or is being put in place, and he has full confidence that any administration structure and all has already been implemented, which those are the things that as a concerned parent, I would like to hear. Mm-hmm. What are those things that you've implemented? You have full confidence that everything is in progress and you've already established it. Well, what are those things? Where were the system failures? How do we allow the aggressive behaved kids back in our regular classroom setting? Everybody loses in that situation. Right. The gen ed kids that are in that classroom are losing. The teachers probably have to deal with aggressive behaviors throughout the day, and everybody's losing in that situation. And that's where I think the investigation should have drawn more attention to, and we should hear about what policies were in place, how we are changing them specifically. And they did say they can't mention specifics because of the Family Privacy Act, but we're not asking about specifics on the students. Right. This has been happening with multiple students. So what are the processes of who decides whether this kid comes back or this kid gets sent out to a different alternative placement?
Yeah, to share. So I feel fully confident that all of these things are either in progress or established. And many of the recommendations, as Mr. Summers said, there were some that were a little more specific recommendations, but then they would share information that perhaps could be a FERPA violation. Right. So specific matters about a student, if you share that recommendation, it might share a little too much about the student, if you will.
So that's Superintendent Bauer speaking out about it. I would say that, and here's what's unfortunate, Shannon, that what happens in these cases is that when parents get frustrated, the only way to get the answers is then to file some kind of a lawsuit, right? So if the parents get together and file some kind of a lawsuit, or the victim's parents do so. Go ahead, Dan. Do you have audio?
No, so I was listening to something in queue there.
So, are there any reports that you know of, Shannon, as far as the victim in all of this? First of all, how is she doing? She was 12 years old, I believe, at the time. And so do we know why she was targeted? Have an update on how she's doing? And then as well, is that family considering any kind of legal action?
I mean, I don't want to talk specifically about that family, but I do know that the student is back in school and has been back in school.
Good.
I do know that there were, even Dr. Bauer talks about lawsuits in between each family. I believe both families are filing lawsuits. But when it comes down to that, though, like, at this point, yes, like I would like to see the full copy of the investigation. I am going to file a right to know request today to see a full copy of the investigation. They showed us some slides. There's like 4 or 5 slides. There might be more than that about the investigation, about the recommendations that are kind of surface recommendations, establish a cell phone policy, which the cell phone, yes, there probably was cell phone bullying. That happens. Whether you try to nip it at the school district level, outside of school, these kids are going to be bullying each other on the cell phones. Just it is what it is. But the violent behavior and the transfer of the students and the policies in place that allow that to continue to happen is what the issue is. And the investigation has to talk about that somewhere. So I plan on requesting, I'm part of the North Penn United.
Yes.
We have a Facebook page that we put this out there on. Nobody would have known about this meeting and this agenda because you're right. The kids are off school this whole week. It's fall break. No one was paying attention to the meetings. We did cover it and put it out there yesterday before the meeting. But we do have attorneys involved. We talked to 2 attorneys about the Title IX policy. We have 2 attorneys that we can contact and talk to that know all about the Sunshine Law. We are going to ask for the full report so we can see the full, I think it's over 100-page report instead of just a couple of slides. And they can redact whatever they want. They can redact. I don't want to hear anything about the students, really. I just want to know about the policies that failed leading up to this and now what we are actually doing, the specifics, to make sure that when there are aggressive kids in the school classroom that are destroying the classrooms or already had violent attacks, against other students or teachers, what is being done? These teachers can't handle this in the classroom. What is being done in our school district, either put them in alternative placement or if there is alternative placement within the school itself?
Yes.
Whether you bring in more aides or bring in more, whether it's special education or counselors. I know they said they've increased security. They talked about how they have this new weapons detection system. But the problem is all these great systems for weapons detection is not preventing this inclusion model that North Penn has, that it continues to keep aggressive students in our children's classrooms. So that's a policy issue. That's a policy issue.
And the other piece of this is, what about the kids? Because there were reports that there were students who were going to the front office saying that there's a kid who's threatening and something's going to happen, or there's going to be an attack. There's going to be something here. What about those? Were any of those concerns addressed?
None of those concerns were addressed. I've heard comments from both sides of that aisle about things being reported, and then things, reported on both sides of that situation that day or the weeks leading up to that. The student was only in that new school for a couple of days before this attack happened, and was in, I believe, in the general education classrooms. But the problem is, did the principals talk? Did they know what kind of student they were getting into the building? Did they have any precautions in place? Kids are bullied every day. They even said that we get tips and we get phone calls and we get things every day that they, have to monitor to see what's important and what's not important to deal with. But I'm sure they do have a new cell phone policy this year, but it's not a new cell phone policy. It's been a cell phone policy. They're just now enforcing it this year, which they did talk about how with the new cell phone policy and trying to eliminate, the bullying throughout the day within the cell phones and posting videos, that's going to help with this. But again, my concern is that the policies and failures leading up to this, allowing students to transfer into aggressive behavior, because these students were already in fights in the previous school.
Right.
What's it going to take? It was a Stanley Cup. It wasn't a weapon. It is a weapon. It's a metal cup. Right. But what's it going to take?
Could have been a pencil.
The student could have. Yeah, the student could have died. If you beat them repeatedly over the head with a Stanley Cup, what's it going to take to remove the aggressive, behaviors from our classrooms?
Right. Yeah, it just sounds like you didn't get a lot of answers, and I'm sorry to hear, Shannon, that you have to file a freedom of information request or get lawyers involved in some of these cases to even have that transparency. And you're right, that is something that Terry Tracy at Broad and Liberty had actually talked about Title IX policies and why they have believe it or not, we talk about Title IX all the time with regard to, biological males perhaps playing in girls' sports, but there's more to it. That, in fact, the accusation under the current administration, and this affects everybody in the nation, is that the administration changed it such that it's easier, the allegation is easier to hide things like this. In other words, a Title IX policy also should say that there should be full transparency, that everybody should be informed. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was something
Right.
I remember Terry telling me about, that people don't report that as much, but under the Trump administration, they made sure, it was Betsy DeVos, right? She was overseeing that, but that they wrote it such that any type of incident that happens, and that this has nothing to do with the gender identity, that has nothing to do with it, but anything in schools, that they're going to go ahead and make sure that there's a full investigation, that there's full transparency, and that they don't make it easier for schools and school boards and that sort of thing to not report everything. Do you know what I'm saying? That was what Terry, I remember vividly. That was a piece that I did not know until he and his investigative journalist had reported on that. So that's, like you said, the policies matter on this one. There was a promise of transparency, though. And so do you feel that upcoming they will release this, or have they said, no, they're not going to even release a redacted version of it?
No, they pretty much said they're not going to release it. I mean, they just kept hiding behind the FERPA law, the Privacy Act, claiming that they cannot share information. Well, we understand the need to protect the student's privacy, and I understand that as well. The excuse just to avoid that they're not going to address it here, and that some things about their policies that would need to change or what they've been implementing, they're saying that some of those things could, allude to some specifics about the student. So therefore, they're not going to be sharing them here. But I mean, the report, an executive session with the school board, they had over a two-hour executive session with the school board where they talked about what they found in this report. So I mean, I'm definitely going to try to get a copy of the report. I'm not looking to mention anybody's names or specific students. It's just about policy leading up to this, which hopefully the investigation did look into. Did the principals talk to each other? How was this transfer made from outside of one school to an alternative school, then back into another school? I mean, what are those policies and procedures? I mean, Dr. Bauer, the superintendent, talked about how there's multiple eyes on more incidences, that they have multiple eyes on it because it's going to be any incidents that are going to be put into everybody's inbox so they can see what's going on an email daily basis. And that's all great that you're going to be seeing it more, but what are the policies that are going to prevent these things from happening?
Right.
And with the whole transparency of it, our school board, I was on your show a while ago, but in October, I think it was, where we were voting on the Title IX policy. Well, North Penn United was successful in getting that policy delayed out of the action meeting because it was not advertised correctly per the Sunshine Law. And we did fight on that, and they did delay that vote. But then they went ahead and put it on to a work session meeting, November 12th, not an action meeting, and they voted on it quickly right then. And the school board directors even all doubled down on that vote. They all spoke and gave comment afterwards about how they absolutely agree with the Title IX changes and that including sports, everything should be included. And I just find that policy being voted on after November 12th, after we already had a presidential election, knowing so that the new administration is probably going to overturn these things in Title IX. Why are we going ahead and voting on that then, knowing that in a few months, it's not going to be the law, is what our school district keeps saying, it's the law. But again, the transparency with that, I mean, the meeting was postponed, the agenda topic was postponed. They never really said, except for 24 hours in advance, that it was going to be on a work session meeting instead. So North Penn did vote on that. It's in effect right now. As of November 12th, they went ahead and voted on the Title IX changes.
But they can't, for parents. Now, you had said that you can get it, you can be exempted or something, right? You can get your school exempted because of other states where they have Republican attorneys general, that they filed all of those different suits, right? So so you're able to put a hold on it. Yeah, I can tell you, Shannon, why. It's because they, as much as they did not want publicity for last night's meeting, when they officially make it official that they've overturned some of this, and then they will welcome in the media, and the headline will be, "Oh, we are we are making sure that there's not a ban on transgender kids from the locker room that they, feel should be, that they identify with. They want that headline so that when the new administration comes in, and Trump, when I interviewed him, he told me day one on his executive order, all of this goes away. They want that headline so that they can say Trump is banning transgender children and imposing, himself on the rights of transgender children. That's what that's exactly what's going to happen across the country, and this is a good example of it. That's what they want. And they're doing it. And I can tell you the reason, this is just my op-ed here, my opinion, but they're doing it because they know that Pennsylvania is critical to these, especially national elections. And so they're doing it for all of the next upcoming elections to say, see, he is ist, right? He's racist, right. He's sexist, he's, transphobic, et cetera. And that's just not true, because what this is about, it's about especially girls being injured in sports because they're playing up against biological males, and girls like you and I met Riley Gaines when she was here. Dan tried to get her, but she's actually having a life.
Yeah, she sent me a picture in a hunting stand today.
Of a hunting, she's out hunting with her husband.
What a badass she is.
But so she's with family and her husband and having a life. But Riley, I thought it was. To me, there was a moment when we met her, Shannon, and she had advised parents to say, you know what, call the district on this and push back on this and say, so what if anybody wants to withhold federal funding, for example, call them on it, call them on their bluff. Yep. I thought that was a powerful moment, and I just think it's so powerful when you hear these female athletes and they're talking about their injuries and also what happens in the locker room and how they feel violated, but nobody seems to care about them, Shannon.
And when speaking to Riley Gaines that day with you, Dawn, I mean, she did say that there's never been a case where federal funds were actually withheld. They just used that, to try to scare people into passing it. And North Penn, I mean, August 1st was when the Title IX administration, the Title IX was passed, and North Penn wanted to act on it immediately. We are a 9-0 school board. We are 9 Democrats, 0 Republicans, which in a school board, I would like there to be diversity in that board because not one person sheds light on anything else or asks any substantial questions. It's everybody's in lockstep with, voting on the same thing. And as quickly as they went to go ahead to pass the Title IX changes in North Penn, once the new administration overturns it, I'm going to hold them accountable, and our organization is going to hold them accountable to quickly, put it back to where it was, because our school district just keeps saying, well, it's not us. We're just following the law. We're following the law. So when it changes, I mean, we are going to be right on top of that to also get the change back as well. And that is it's a really bipartisan issue. We have multiple people on both sides, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, that have wrote in letters to us, to our email address, I've had people drop off anonymous letters to my house specifically about the Title IX. I'm assuming that they don't want their name mentioned, but I know some of them are on the Democrat Party, have probably voted for our current school board, but they have girls that are in sports and in locker rooms, and it's just not right. Yeah. It's not right.
Yeah, and I've had the same. I've had so many people who on background will contact me, Shannon, to your point, and say, this is not a political issue to them. It's really a safety and privacy issue. And that's why I think this story and this situation is, I think, something that is underplayed as far as even the last election, because I do feel that, and hey, I think people, you know me by now. If somebody was bullying any kid, I don't care what their gender identity is, it's not appropriate or proper. I would never violate. Even you and I are being very careful not to even identify, right? Actual, like the families or the kids or anything of that nature. So I think everybody's really sensitive and kind and wants to be inclusive and welcoming. But that doesn't mean that the rights of one individual should be allowed to then just trample on the privacy rights of girls who feel, first of all, in a locker room or bathroom, feel self-conscious and feel violated, by a biological male changing in front of them and so on and so forth. And there are ways that I think there are high quality ways to protect everybody's rights and everybody's privacy. But because it's politicized, unfortunately, that's not what's happening here.
I do have some great audio from a father by the name of Jason, if you wanted to hear that.
Yeah,
John.
let's hear.
A couple of initial thoughts is having this meeting on the Monday before Thanksgiving break seems to be a way of avoiding a lot of public attention. I don't know why this wouldn't be at an action meeting. I know this is sort of an informational thing, but this is a pretty big informational item. So I think there is some cowardice on the board and on the admin by not actually having this in a forum and not putting it quickly on the itinerary to have on a virtual meeting. But that being said, the recommendations here, I have to agree with the last speaker. Wow, what we need is to reduce the amount of cell phone bullying, which I don't even think was an issue in this instance. I know you can't name it specifically, but cell phone bullying is a big thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for having limited cell phone usage in high school and middle school. That makes a lot of sense. But that's not that's a red herring in this instance.
Yeah.
And the other thing is more redundancy. These aren't recommendations. What allowed in this instance, and I know you can't speak to it specifically, but what allowed this person back into school? That's the policy problem. The policy problem said that allowed an administrator to come along and say, you know what, we'll just forget what problems this person was having in one middle school, and we'll put them in another middle school. Why did that happen? Yep. And I know you can't speak to it specifically because of all the FERPA laws and what have you, but it's still relevant. And if that policy still exists, which will allow that to happen, what we're counting on is the redundancy, where Dr. Bauer was like, I know that's our policy to allow this kind of nonsense to continue, but I'm going to have to veto this one because I'm the backstop to actually enacting these stupid policies which we've passed, which we don't want to actually result in some bad thing to happen.
Yeah, the dad is well spoken. Yeah, it just sounds like they're not giving many specific answers to this.
Right.
It's a shame.
And they talk about checks and balances, that they have now more checks and balances, but they need to elaborate. What are those checks and balances? What are you doing to stop that? Yeah, I mean, Jason was absolutely correct in what he was saying, but it's all about the policies. It's not about the specifics about this child on that exact day. It was about the weeks and months leading up to this.
And so what's next? Because I want to stay on top of this, and we have an active group, as you well know, here, and a supportive group. So when is the next meeting, or is North Penn United? Are you having a meeting? What's happening next?
Yeah, so I mean, North Penn United, I mean, we're an organization to help get conservative school board directors elected. I mean, we had a meeting on November 12th. We had over 30 people there. We've identified candidates that want to run. I mean, really, it's about bringing our community together, stopping with the nonsense, and at least getting a couple of our conservative people on the school board. So at least there is some, communication back and forth amongst the board members. And right now we have nobody asking questions to each other. The meeting that was postponed, the last action meeting that was postponed, is now back on the schedule. I believe it's December 2nd. I believe it is. I'll double check that. I'll post it on our North Penn United page.
Okay,
but anybody can email us at npennunited@gmail.com. We do have an informational meeting on December 4th at an undisclosed location right now, just for our volunteers that we've recruited, because we're going to try to go big, and we're going to try to get, bipartisan support on all of this about these policies that have been failures to our students. I mean, it's about, in the local school board elections and even local races, I don't think it's that big about political Democrats versus Republican, but this particular board, the 9 Democrats, 0 Republican board, has made it all political. It's all about their political.
It's a shame
that they're making their decisions based on their political agendas. So yes, I mean, I will keep posting on North Penn United. We have other volunteers that are writing op-eds and doing, more things now that we've been getting a lot of people more involved. So just follow us on North Penn United on Facebook. We hope to expand out to Twitter and other things. And if you want to be on our email distribution list, just email us at npennunited@gmail.com.
Shannon, thank you so much. Thanks for keeping us informed, and I'll stay on it definitely. We don't want to let this, die in darkness, as we say. So I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. One of our great moms and a citizen journalist, really. And you hear, that's what you're hearing, the involvement of caring community members who are activated. And they're activated by the fact that they're being shut out of information. These are taxpayers, and reminding a board that these individuals work for Shannon. And see, that's just it. Even Mayor Parker, when she came into office, she said, I work for you. And I will applaud the mayor for doing that when she came to Philadelphia, because she understood what the vote for her meant. And so these different individuals at the, in the schools or in a local board, they need to understand they're working for the taxpayers, for the parents, not the other way around. It's just not appropriate. So we'll keep on it for sure. Man. It's just stressful. I'm so sorry that these parents are going through that. Thank you. Tee up the music. Take me away.
After that, we need a vacation.
I know, right? We need to escape to Italia. I love it. And now you know why Italy, and I learned this firsthand last trip with Conservative Tours, why Italy is the most revisited country in the entire world. Join me next spring on the Italian Riviera. Lorenzo and Romina, yes, they are back with us. And once again, Conservative Tours has crafted an amazing itinerary that is sure to enchant us. Tuscany, the Riviera, Northern Italian Lakes region, Cinque Terre, and dining events that you'll write home about. 5378, yes, that includes your airfare, 5378. Pisa, Michelangelo's Florence, and the fashion capital of Milan. You want to call toll-free. This is booking up fast. 888-733-9494. You can go to conservativetours.com. Luxury hotels, a Mercedes coach, and a tour leader who is absolutely the best. That is Conservative Tours in Italy. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Charming Siena. Home to Il Palio. The medieval Manhattan, San Gimignano, Modena, Lake Como, Vernazza. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Portofino. Conservativetours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses talks about using exercise to combat his anxiety issues.
The working out is key in my case, and I force myself just to do 100 push-ups. Even if you run just around your block, you build yourself a place to go.
Talk saves lives. For more mental health conversations, visit imlistening.org.
Let's talk about your mental health, free from fear or judgment. Most people experience feelings of depression, anxiety, grief, and hopelessness when dealing with stressful life events. If you need to talk, call or text 988 to connect with a trained professional who is ready to listen and provide support 24/7. The Philadelphia Crisis Line has trained counselors who get it. They understand that sometimes you need an ally, someone who will listen and get you the support and services you need. Call or text 988 because you matter.
Hey, it's Rich. As the early winter is coming, water will freeze and thaw around your property and into your foundation, and that's when the worst damage will happen. I used to worry about water, but then Garden State Earthworks solved my water problem for good. When we had our wet basement, it was caused by excess outside stagnant water. We called Garden State Earthworks. They assessed and drained the water away once and for all. Call the guy I trust, Lou Vargo at Garden State Earthworks, 856-848-4444 or GardenStateEarthworks.com.
Santa, he's not checking his list. He's checking out the insane deals at the Bush Auto Group. Forget Black Friday, forget Christmas shopping. These deals are so big, they'll have your wallet saying, ho, ho, holy. We're talking huge dollar amounts off select Nissans. Infinity's so affordable, Santa's ditching the sleigh for adaptive cruise control. And our pre-owned deals, they're so outrageous you'll feel like you're stealing. But don't worry, it's all perfectly legal. You're still on the nice list. Visit us online at bushautogroup.com. And remember, Philly rides with us.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. People ask us, is PNC just a boring bank? Well, that depends. Is starting a business boring, or being the first person in your family to go to college? For nearly 160 years, we've done the hard and occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results to our clients. To see what boring banking can do for you, stop into any of our local branches right here in the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Got a shopping list a mile long but need to charge your EV? No problem. Now you can fill up your cart and your battery at the same time. With a convenient network of Shell recharge stations at some of your favorite shopping spots, you can get everything done in one trip. Shop for groceries, clothes, and more while your EV charges up. And never miss a beat. Shell Recharge. Download the Shell app today to find the nearest Shell Recharge location. For more information on locations and how Shell measures reliability, visit shell.us/Shell Recharge.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
Enhance your home's curb appeal with new doors and windows from Emmons Roofing and Siding.
Our high-quality products offer style, security, and energy efficiency.
And you can choose from a wide selection of styles and finishes from major brands like Anderson or Provia.
Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us online at callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
So there is a video that has gone viral, and this has to do, we'll get into Tom Homan, the new border czar. He's not playing around at all. You'll hear from him in a moment. But the video that has gone viral, I don't know if you saw it last night or this morning yet, but this is a 2-year-old little girl in a little pink, fuzzy little jacket, if you are watching on YouTube. 2-year-old little girl, migrant girl, found at the U.S. border, the south border in Texas. And she's holding this yellow little sticky note, piece of paper with just a first name and a phone number on it. That's it. And, you know, this has gone viral as really many calling out the Biden-Harris administration's failure to protect these vulnerable children who are asylum seekers, or were they? So this little girl coming from El Salvador, that's the word we have, in this cute little fuzzy pink jacket, as I say, she was with a group of more than 200 illegal migrants coming in, including 60 unaccompanied minors. That's according to the authorities there, the Border Patrol. And they were then detained after crossing the border into, this is Maverick County, Texas. But this footage of this sweet little girl, and they blurred out her face, but you can see her little hands and her sweet image, and they're speaking in Spanish to her, asking her, how did you come? Do you want to just play a piece of it? And for those of you,
Venezuela, mama.
So what he's asking there is, did you come by yourself?
Did you come by yourself?
Sí.
Yes.
She nods her head in like a little mum 2-year-old kind of way, and he says yes.
¿Cuántos años tienes?
How old are you?
I think he does translate, doesn't he?
Dos años? ¿No vienes con tu mamá y tu papá? ¿No?
You with your mom and dad?
¿Venezuela? ¿Para dónde vas, mamá? ¿Dónde están? Estados Unidos? Okay.
So, sweet little girl, 2 years old, coming over by herself without her parents. Her parents are not there. And then she does mention her parents, but it's just not clear where are mom and dad. She's coming all the way from El Salvador. I'll point out to you that the video of all the underage kids, most of them are boys. Am I right here, Dan? Do you see a lot? I don't see a lot of little girls, but I see a lot of.
It's tough to tell because their faces are blurred.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the clothes alone, who am I to assume? But no, it looks like it's mostly boys.
So mostly boys, but then you see toward the end, there are a couple of little kids. There's a 4-year-old in the group, this 2-year-old, and you hear her sweet little voice. And so this innocent little
here's
child.
Walking down the line. We're not on video right now, but just so you have an idea, if you look through the window here, it's 17-year-old boy, 17-year-old boy.
No, they're claiming they're 7. So he's asking in Spanish,
16.
and they're claiming that they're 17, 16. We don't know. They could be 18, but they're clearly teenage. They look like teenage boys.
Yeah.
They could be 18, they could be 19, or they could be 17. Some of them are like this one. Some of them look little. Others look older.
One says he's going to Virginia.
Yeah, so where are you going? He's 15. Where are you going? So, my question is, do they have the gang markings on them? Do they have the tattoos? See, the sick part of this is that some of these kids, they actually will write with a Sharpie or they'll tattoo them to say, you're basically going to work. You're going to be a servant.
I like this kid. Look at him.
What does he have?
A Sixer shirt on. Where the hell do you find a Sixer shirt?
But in this one, I know that, there were different, Republican senators and Republicans speaking out about this, saying that these innocent kids, especially the little girls and little boys who, some of them, like I say, 4 years old, this 2-year-old, they're without their parents or anybody that's a caretaker, and then they would be vulnerable to these human traffickers. And so they're calling out the Biden-Harris administration that they say...
This 17-year-old's like 6'9".
Yeah, look at this kid.
Where did he come from?
Going to play a little basketball. Maybe he's going to play for the Sixers. Could use the help, because we got Joel Embiid is out all the time. But seriously, I mean, we have, and remember, we do have Tom, Homan, who the new Borders are, who said these we still have as many as 300,000 missing children that they are unaccounted for, and many of these kids, there were 30,000 at last report that had some kind of a court appearance, and they know all these kids came through, but then they just let them go and never tracked them. And so at least 30,000 missed a court appearance. Well, big surprise, right? So if they were actually asylum seekers and with the family they're supposed to be, why did they miss their hearing? Where are they
People
really?
have wondered, how is this going to work? So how will it work?
Well, look, I think the president's been clear on the stage. As far as the deportation operation, we will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats because they pose the biggest danger to the United States. He's got 3 rails. So we'll do the deportation operation with the priorities I just talked to you out of the gate. That'd be the priorities. Second thing is secure that border. Lock that border down and catch and release and secure the border. The third rail is we got over 300,000 missing children. Over 500,000 children have been trafficked into the United States. This administration released them to unvetted sponsors, and they can't find 300,000 of them. And based on my 3.5 decades, some of these children are in forced labor. We already found some in forced labor. Some are in forced sex trafficking. Some are living with pedophiles. We need to save these children. So that's going to be the third rail.
My God. And why isn't that being reported more widely? So the numbers are and these are the official numbers, 529,000 migrant kids have entered the United States under the Biden-Harris administration. And that's according to the latest numbers from Customs and Border Protection, by the way. That's their data. Remember, I had told you last summer about the data that I've quoted multiple times, and that's what Homan is quoting, revealing that the Biden-Harris administration lost track. They lost these kids, 320,000 migrant children who we know have crossed the border without parents, without caretakers, have come to this country. And you hear him saying that they know that some of them are being trafficked in different ways or enslaved because they have, thank God, they've found some of them. But this is disturbing. I think of the times when my kids, and you can relate to this, if you've ever lost a child at I think of down the Jersey Shore, Ocean City, Sea Isle, how many times then they run off and immediately, where Michael? And you're yelling, or in the store. It's the worst feeling. You think about a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old or even an 8-year-old kid, like, where'd they go? And you know that at first you're like a little aggravated, like, oh, where'd they go? And then there's within 30 seconds that panic that sets in because your precious child, you don't know where they are. Did somebody grab them? And you set off the alarms, right? And so think about how horrifying it is that this administration lost track of all of these kids, 320,000 kids at least. They don't know where they are. They are lost children in this country, and nobody's sounding alarm bells. We don't have pictures of these kids. We have nothing. They're lost children. I mean, that makes me sick to my stomach. And to me, it just shows the apathy, the lack of care. If you love or care about these children, so the Biden administration saying, well, we want, the other side is racist or the other side is ist in some way. Well, no. What a great way to say to this current administration, if these were your kids in your family, white kids, would you be concerned that you haven't seen them in a year or 2 or 3? Would you be concerned? You betcha you'd be concerned. But with these children who've come mostly from South American points, but not all, where are they? And why is no one sounding the alarm? Why is the mainstream media not talking about it? It's a sin. Shame. This is the legacy of the Biden-Harris administration. I will tell you that. We have a lot more, and we will have some fun because we got to talk about Turkey. I know, shame.
Get your bell out, Dawn.
Get my bell. Shame. Ring the shame bell on them.
Shame.
Yeah, it's just so disturbing. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. You can hit me up on social media at Dawn Stensland. I created a new Instagram. I'm trying to be better on Instagram, and we're going to post some of these videos. So my name that I put, Dan, we'll have to talk about this, was Doge Dawn.
Doge Dawn.
How do you like that?
Doge, I like that. D-O-J-G-E. Why did I think J-E?
G-E. Doge Dawn.
I was thinking like Doja Cat for some reason.
I'm trying to be
Dawn.
better. I know. Greg is always getting on me. You got to be better. Be best, like
Doge
the First Lady
Dawn.
says. Yes, Doge Dawn. Hey, there's no greater time of year to give back than the holiday season, and that is why my friends from Piazza Premium Automobiles, they are partnering with the Salvation Army for the Piazza Toy Drive once again. This is so great. Visit any of the Pennsylvania or Delaware Piazza Premium showrooms, and that's through December 16th, and you can donate a new unwrapped toy. Your support, of course, will make the holidays a little brighter for a local child. Find the dealership that's nearest you online, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. And thank you. Happy holidays. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Wawa's Hot Turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because Hot Turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. gotta have a Wawa.
An American Heritage Cash Reward MasterCard earns cash back with every purchase. From now through the holidays, get 4% cash back on essentials like grocery shopping, gas stations, pharmacies, and home improvement stores to help with your holiday gatherings. And when it's time for holiday gift shopping, earn 2% cash back on every purchase, including big box retailers, online shopping, and small businesses. Apply today at AmericanHeritageCU.org/creditcards. Subject to credit approval. Insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I can't recommend enough my friend and dentist, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. But I also want to share a little secret with you. You know, we're in the final stretch of 2024. As you know, you could possibly have dental insurance benefits expiring soon. Come January, most benefits reset. So if you've been putting off getting that dental procedure done, now is the time to schedule your appointment and use any remaining benefits for 2024. Dr. Mike's office will help you work through all of it, so just give them a call. Dr. Mike Veneria is the master of implant dentistry. His level of care and commitment to dental excellence is unmatched. And if you're nervous to go to the dentist, don't be. Dr. Mike and his staff makes your dental experience simple. He's been named a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. He's respected among his peers as being a master of dental implants. And yes, he's my family dentist. So stop putting off seeing a dentist or getting that complex dental procedure done, and don't waste those benefits. Taking care of your teeth is so important to your overall health. So call his office at 856-786-2020 or veneriadental.com. That's VANARIA, veneriadental.com.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
There's a chill in the air. You flip on the heat, and uh-oh, nothing. And why does it always happen right after you've finally gotten cozy? For as little as $13 a month, Oliver will keep your home's heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems in check year-round. And guess what? Membership also comes with yearly inspections, exclusive discounts on repairs and replacements, plus priority emergency service.
Call Oliver for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
The Legacy Box Black Friday event starts now. Radio listeners can enjoy reliving their meaningful memories for an insane 65% off.
Legacy Box is the best gift for you or a family member. And during our Black Friday event, there's never been a better time to preserve your past. Legacy Box start at only $27, with savings of over $400 when you digitize your whole collection.
Legacy Box is simple and safe. We digitize everything by hand here in the USA. You'll get your originals back, plus digital copies that protect your tapes, film reels, and photos from floods, mold, even the decay of time.
Make the holidays special and shop our best deal of the year. Visit LegacyBox.com to shop our Black Friday event and take an unreal 65% off. With limited quantities ready to ship, this deal will go fast.
The Legacy Box Black Friday event starts now. Buy your Legacy Box today and send in when you're ready. That's LegacyBox.com/value to take 65% off. LegacyBox.com/value.
From your kitchen table to our airwaves, the Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel, got to go round. Talking about your troubles, it's a crying sin.
We have the ultimate national brand manager. Locally, Greg Stocker's our local brand manager, but a biggity big conservative brand manager coming up and a great author as well. So I'm very excited to talk to AJ Rice about his new book, The White Privilege Album.
That thing's selling like hotcakes right now, this book.
Awesome book. He's great, so you'll hear from him. So we're talking about the border issue. Do you want to take this call really quick?
Yeah,
we have like 30 seconds. 855-839-1210. And this is Dave. You had some information, Dave?
Yeah, I know a lady who she's a foster mother in North Jersey. And
wonderful.
She's got two kids right now. One Guatemalan, 13 around. One Honduras, 15 girls. They've been raped numerous times coming through Mexico and places like that.
God.
What is Biden thinking? He's not. How many people they find in the desert dead?
This is horrifying.
Yeah.
It's
you never hear that because
No.
the mainstream media is corrupt.
Yeah, this is something that for generations, and it will become transparent. Thank you so much for calling in. I'm glad. I know there are responsible foster parents and different community groups, church groups, and synagogues that are trying to reach out and help these kids. And the problem for this 2-year-old that we talked about, she thinks she's going. She thinks that they've told her, "Oh, your mommy and daddy are in the United States," but what are the odds of that? You see. And it's just sick. It makes you nauseous. And the fact that a government would allow this to happen with hundreds of thousands of children, we need to know where they are and make sure that they're safe. But obviously the responsible groups, like the foster group that you just mentioned, they're going to make the court appearances. They're going to try to, pave a proper and legal pathway for these kids to become citizens, right? And so that they would have no motive to miss all of these court dates. These children are missing in America. It's just sickening to me. We have to take a quick break because I just am so excited to hear from A.J. Rice as his new book. And I don't know if you read his past book. We'll talk about it. But, just a great author. You want to pick up the White Privilege album and bringing racial harmony to very fine people on both sides. So A.J. Rice, still ahead.
Hey, it's Rich Zeol. I'm traveling a lot these days, right? New York and D.C., and I'm all over the place. And whenever I'm on Wi-Fi, I always use my DuckDuckGo VPN. Even when I'm home, I use the VPN because I know my data is encrypted. I do not want my internet provider knowing where I am on the internet. I don't want somebody stealing my data at a coffee shop or on the train or when I'm using a public Wi-Fi. That's why the DuckDuckGo VPN is the absolute best in the business. Listen, you hear about VPNs all the time. This one's from DuckDuckGo, the leader in online privacy protection and a local company. It's been doing this for years, helping millions of people. But that's not all you get with Privacy Pro. You also get personal information removal to make sure all your personal data is gone and identity theft restoration. All 3 of those services to arm you up and protect you online for only $10 a month. And if you sign up today at duckduckgo.com/1210, you get a 7-day free trial. So do it today. duckduckgo.com/1210.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
This holiday season, spread some cheer by stopping by Cozy Jewelers for their Black Friday toy drive. From November 23rd through the 30th, save 20% off select in-stock items at Cozy Jewelers when you bring in a new unwrapped toy. Paul Cozy will help you pick out the perfect gift that will make this the most magical holiday ever. Step up to the 5th C. That's color, cut, clarity, carrot, and cozy. Visit Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square for their Black Friday toy drive, November 23rd through the 30th, or cozyjewelers.com.
You've got the whole season planned. Shopping list, the dinner parties, who's picking up who at the airport when someone asks, "Why is the heat not coming on?" First you panic. You fill up a swear jar. Then you remember that Horizon Services commercial about their experts being there the same day for any problems and how they'll install a new HVAC system with no payments and 0% interest until 2025. Oh, you stop panicking and realize your swear jar will cover the Horizon visit. Book today at horizonservices.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
If there's anything that we know about liberalism, anything that we know about cultural Marxism, it's that, wokeism in general, trickle-down wokeism, trickle-down cultural Marxism equals trickle-down misery. They want to make you miserable. I don't care whether it's canceling a show on Netflix or taking the salt shaker out of your hands, getting rid of the big gulp at the 7-Eleven. They want to suck all joy from you. Yes. Their goal, actually, when they dream about what can be becoming unburdened by what has been, their goal is for all of us to be childless, unmarried, sitting in our apartments. Maybe we get some cats delivered from Ohio, the ones that weren't on the menu. We put Taylor Swift on in the background, and we're going to sit there and we're going to scream about white privilege and the patriarchy. That's what they want from us. Miserable, alone, listening to Taylor, childless, with our cats.
Woo! So the White Privilege album, by the way, #1 political humor book in all of America, #1 new release, political humor, #1 bestseller, and #1 bestseller in social policy, #1 bestseller, public affairs and policy. Welcome in and congratulations to the author and America's publicist, A.J. Rice, in the house.
Wow. Who was that maniac you were playing? That sounded like an Eagles fan. You were just
AJ, are you an Eagles fan? You better be an Eagles fan, man.
Are you kidding me? I'm from Northeast Philadelphia.
Yeah, we know how to spell in Philadelphia, right? So we go AJRICE.
Hey, it works. I like that.
Woo!
Exactly.
So
that's right. Look, when you're fighting the left, you got to be able to jump backwards like Saquon Barkley. Right? You need to be able to hurdle people, especially when they're shouting white privilege and the Woking Dead are trying to eat your brain. Believe me.
Yes. And that's just it. So your latest book, great book, The White Privilege Album, #1, like I said. And then a couple years ago, I had bought your other book, The Woking Dead, How Society's Vogue Virus Destroys Our Culture. These are must-reads and even great holiday books if your loved ones or friends don't have them. But let's go through it and talk about what's going on post-woohoo Trump win. And first of all, I'll begin with Walmart. So Walmart has made the seismic, and this is making big news, right? Because no more DEI. So even Walmart now says, let's get rid of that DEI.
Yeah,
what do you make of that?
The fact that they were even, Sam Walton's going to, come up out of his grave here. I mean, the fact that they were even playing in that realm to begin with. I mean, certain people, when in certain companies, when you hear that they're they're pushing DEI or ESG, wokeism. I mean, you're not totally shocked. Nike gave Colin Kaepernick some virtue signaling money, right?
Yeah.
But beyond that, the fact that Walmart, talk about not knowing your audience. It's like the same thing with Budweiser, Harley Davidson, John Deere. I'm not shocked that a company like Jaguar, I guess, puts a bunch of, a drag brunch in their commercial, right? A drag brunch on the moon with no car in the commercial. So, some of this stuff I'm not shocked at. But, all that it normally takes is Kid Rock and his AR-15 to get out there. And usually these companies straighten themselves out real quick.
Yeah, and do you think that, as far as, do you think Bud Light has done themselves well with their latest commercial with Shane Gillis?
Yeah, it's obvious what they're doing now, right? The pendulum's swinging. They drug Peyton Manning out there too. Now, I will say I'm not shocked. Big shout out to Shane, another Birds fan. Look, something happened here. This was a woke Waterloo moment. Now, certain people that actually have a bottom line, that are publicly traded companies, that have a board to answer to, some of them are going to get the message, right? I saw that Volvo put out a very pro-American ad. Of all, it's a Swedish car company. Of all car companies, Volvo goes right, traditional, and Jaguar goes left. But look, the market will decide these things. And right now, the market is not loving ESG and DEI. It is not loving it. And I will tell you, there are these moments like Kid Rock with the AR-15. But, Elon Musk in particular, Dawn, he has made, DEI uncool. He's made wokeism uncool. And Joe Rogan has helped, and shows like this help. And every time we dunk on these idiots, it helps for sure. But, you could tell by the way sort of the tech bros, they stood down or they threw in with Elon.
Yeah.
The fact that Zuckerberg was the last, apparently, as smart as he is, he's a bit of a dummy, Dawn. He was the last person, I guess, in America to find out that the DOJ actually lies to people, about the Hunter Biden laptop. So he does his big letter, sends a letter to Jim Jordan, and him and Elon have like a little rivalry thing going on. And it's obvious that wokeism's not cool. So Zuckerberg, he sat this one out. Jeff Bezos sat this one out. They had courage to call Trump when he was shot.
Yeah.
What courage to find? Oh, wow, that was a badass moment, Dawn. It's just crazy. But they stood down, and I'll take it. They put up the white flag. I'd rather them doing that than trying to, get involved in our elections like they did in 2020.
Yeah. Well, this time around, for sure, we in this area, I will tell you that citizens were involved. They were called. Dan can tell you too. We had people calling in, whether they were the deadlines for registering to vote or on election day, saying this is happening. And then we were, I just felt like we were a conduit, like in talk radio all day. Thank God we're on from 6 a.m, all night until midnight that night. I think Dom closed out the night, but they were calling in. And then the RNC attorneys were filing things, and it was really interactive, I got to tell you. But people, like you're saying, people are saying, I'm not taking this anymore.
Yeah, people were activated for multiple reasons. It wasn't just wokeism. Some of it's globalism, too. Some of it's the fact that, Kamala and Joe have just, been driving a car with a blindfold on for 4 years. And, look, I joke about with this book, the White Privilege album, with an apology to the Beatles. The reality here is that most people, they don't want to be told about white this and black that, and they don't, and they all kind of want the same thing. And they all kind of don't want other things. And what they don't want is the third world being redistributed to their living room, and they don't want the police defunded, and they don't want, their schools to stink, right? I'm from Bucks County. And last I checked, it looked like a Republican won Bucks County by 1,200 votes.
Yep.
which was like the first time since, Bush Sr. So, I mean, the people were activated. And guess what, Democrats? It wasn't just a bunch of white guys in red hats.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk about bringing racial harmony to very fine people on both sides, and I know the Philadelphia region has plenty of very fine people, Donald Trump was able to get Jewish voters in Pennsylvania and Muslim voters in Michigan. How did that happen if he's Hitler? How did Hitler bring racial harmony? Latin Americans in Nevada, Latin Americans in Arizona, African Americans in Atlanta, on and on and on. So, yeah, the red states got redder, the purple states got redder, and even some of the blue cities got a little bit redder.
Yeah, A.J. Rice, I would love to ask you about the issue that I was just talking to a mom about a school board. You mentioned people who have to answer to, a privately owned company or a private board. But on school boards, they're still pushing back on the issue of biological males in girls' locker rooms. We're seeing that, that going on, and they're still trying to push it through, even though Trump, when I had talked to him, Trump said day one, executive order, all that Title IX stuff, he's going to straighten out. But is that one of those issues that we didn't see, that maybe the pollsters didn't see coming, that you had people who are traditional Democrats who on that issue as well was one that got people to say, you know what, this upside down land, it's just too much, it's too crazy?
That's right. 100%. 100%. It's like a 98% issue. But not to the elite white coastal libs that push it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, AOC's in a fight right now with Nancy Mace on Capitol Hill here in Washington about letting men into the women's bathroom. So they apparently are still willing to die on this hill, the hill where, a 200-pound dude is pitching to your daughter in softball. I mean, this is – right? She's, a boxer, a volleyball player, spiking it in your daughter's face. I mean, there's a fight right now going on with that right now.
Yes.
I mean, if they're willing to keep pushing this, I mean, for some reason, Jaguar released this ad. Like, if I had this ad in the tank, in the hopper, there's no way it would have been released after what just happened in this election. So, and look what they're doing to Seth Moulton, this Democrat, not exactly some right-winger from Massachusetts. They're going after him because, he basically said, hey, maybe we need to talk to, I don't know, the plumbers unions or the coal miners more and less to the trans activists.
Yeah, amen. I mean, Imagine that. But is woke dead, or is it just playing possum for now?
Yeah, so look, wokeism is just cultural Marxism with a trendy name. It's been here 100 years. In the 90s with the Murphy Brown pantsuit mafia, it was just called political correctness, right? When she got into a fight with Dan Quayle. Remember that?
Spell potato.
It's not going to go away. It's going to burrow in. They're going to burrow in like termites. They're going to hide in, like a tapeworm. And they will reemerge. They cannot help themselves, Dawn. It's just like they're like a fever blister that comes and goes. They're going to pop up when you least expect it.
Which is herpes.
And as long as the American people keep saying no to it, eventually they're going to have to find a new route to try to push their agenda. But, as long as the entertainment industry is as whacked out as it is, we're going to be dealing with, the trans mafia trying to whack people at least for another, during the Trump years for sure.
A.J. Rice, who do you have faith in? You talk about the White Privilege album, which is the #1 political humor book in America. I'm a mom of teenage sons. One of their friends in a different school apologized for being a white male. I think that group, I'm not making this up, really? Which is so upsetting. But is that group, who do you, A.J. Rice, when you look out into, especially the universe in America, which group of individuals do you have faith in when you think about the future of America and leadership?
Look, I have faith in American meritocracy. As much as Dan and I want to play for the U.S. men's Olympic basketball team, they're not going to let us play for them. Okay, and I can stick some jump shots, right? Big shout out to Lansdale Catholic High School up there in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
I'm saying, but they're not. But we're not good enough. So they're not going to put us on through some DEI program because merit is everything. And one other thing, and what people don't talk about this with Kamala Harris, the American people can smell a phony. They can smell a studio gangster, right? She's a studio gangster. They can smell it. People like authenticity, even if some of it might be crude 1 minute or this or that. I mean, that's the beauty of Trump is you kind of know what you're getting, right? So, and I think if you use merit, if you use authenticity, you don't try to hide, right? I think that, you will rise in this country, because when they shout about white privilege, what they're really talking about is that they don't like Western civilization. They don't like the Bill of Rights. They don't like the middle class. They don't like the nuclear family. But if you come here legally, Dawn, you can participate in all of this, and it has nothing to do with skin color.
AJ Rice, everything you say, you're just a great producer, a great writer. I'm like quoting you. I'm writing it down,
See you over there furiously
He's
taking
the GOAT.
notes.
Yeah. AJ Rice, I know you got to go. America's Publicist. Get his book, The White Privilege Album. If you don't have the book that came out a couple years ago, The Woking Dead, you got to get it. Got to read it. AJ Rice, you're the man.
Making Philly proud, AJ.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, The Woking Dead just came out in paperback. But look, let's get out there, right? Let's enjoy it a little bit. Have a white privilege album Christmas. Have a good Thanksgiving. And if I could leave you with one thing, I just want to say, go Birds.
Woo! AJ Rice.
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
He's great.
Oh, he's wonderful.
The guy even has a song for his
I know, he's
book.
got. He's the hero. He's the man. The ultimate brand manager. And I say that with such respect because Greg Stocker's still in the building. But I think even Greg Stocker would agree. AJ Rice, the ultimate brand manager.
Yeah, he's really good at what he does. Yeah.
But I think he's right in the sense of Trump, the Trump brand, that people didn't even really know who Kamala Harris was, even though she's been the Veep for 3.5 years. And then poor Joe Biden, did you see him yesterday?
No, what happened?
Oh, jeez. Doing the turkey pardons and...
Oh, no.
Oh. Maybe we'll have to talk about that around the corner.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Well, your thoughts on AJ Rice? Did you get the book? Did you? What do you think about what he said? I love him. I just think he's just great. 855-839-1210. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
20 years, what these girls gonna be? Gas prices went down, somebody.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Either of you guys have your Christmas decorations up yet?
No.
You?
No. It was 65 degrees yesterday.
We didn't even have fall, and we're just jumping into Christmas. I didn't even get my free turkey yet.
You need to at least wait until Thanksgiving week. Can we all just agree on that?
1,000%.
Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving till January 1st. Then we're done. Take all your freaking decorations down.
Yeah, I typically take them down right after my birthday, January 3rd. What's the chat saying now?
Nothing. I'm just...
Is Justin in there crying?
No.
Make sure you check in this week, Justin. Tell us what we're doing wrong.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. Mike Shinoda from Lincoln Park talks about being willing to be open and talk about their mental health.
What is my mental health right now? And it feels like it's low, or you're looking at your spouse or friend or whoever, and you're saying, I think that they're having a really bad day. It should be cause for action.
Talk saves lives. For more mental health conversations, visit imlistening.org.
Let's talk about your mental health, free from fear or judgment. Most people experience feelings of depression, anxiety, grief, and hopelessness when dealing with stressful life events. If you need to talk, call or text 988 to connect with a trained professional who is ready to listen and provide support 24/7. The Philadelphia Crisis Line has trained counselors who get it. They understand that sometimes you need an ally, someone who will listen and get you the support and services you need. Call or text 988 because you matter.
In a world filled with financial information, Citizens can help you make sense of it. So whether you're listening to that new financial podcast that's hotter than your morning coffee, flipping through that financial guru's 1,000-page book on simple finances, or getting tips from a coworker that actually sound kind of interesting, you're ready to make the most of it. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Learn more at citizensbank.com/made ready.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor. Every Saturday afternoon at 5, I talk with doctors and medical specialists from around the country to discuss the latest information about heart disease, cancer prevention, topics in women's health, pediatrics, mental health, and more. Then you can make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. Your radio doctor, Saturdays at 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, because your health is your wealth.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
According to experts, Peach weighs 41 pounds and loves to eat hot dish and tater tots and cross-country skis. You know, dreams to see, but the real dream he has is to see the Northern Lights, I'm told.
What?
Gosh.
Oh, God bless him.
I don't know if I feel worse for Peach or Joe Biden.
I know. Did he pardon both turkeys, or I think he pardoned both. That's usually the
I do
tradition.
have more audio
Peach
if you want.
weighs 41 pounds.
Oh, that's the same one. Here you go. Let me get the farmer information.
Back in Minnesota, John's been in the turkey grower for 35 years. He's raised over 4 million turkeys. Whoa. And with the help of his 9-year-old son, Grant, they've raised 2 special guests we're honoring today, Peach and Blossom. Let's bring Peach up to join us.
Peach, stand up, would you? Stand up there, Peach.
So they stand him up
Peach
there.
weighs about 42 pounds.
That's a huge turkey.
Yeah.
Some social media.
Peach is making a last-minute plea here.
Pardon 2 turkeys, but not Peanut the squirrel. It's one of your comments. Ouch, but I'm bummed. But yeah, it's kind of, he's really starting to ramble, you know, like just not make sense. Like when he was talking about what did he say, the Northern Lights? That's just a shame.
Yeah.
And somebody wrote, Bobby wrote, what about J6 people? Yeek. Will he pardon them? No, Trump will do that when he gets in. But yeah, it would be nice if they could come home for the holidays.
To see, but the real dream he has is to see the Northern Lights, I'm told.
What? Like, it's a sin, isn't it? It's just a shame.
Poor Joe.
I know.
Poor Joe.
Now, what do you think about this theory, Dan, that in 855-839-1210, if you want to talk about it, but this theory that he will sort of announce a retirement and then have the vice president take over. I just don't think that's going to happen. But it's still floating out there. You think?
No, I don't think, and I'll tell you why. I think the only thing the Democrats have at this point to run on, we were just talking with A.J. Rice, a great, great guest, and he talked about a merit-based society, and all they have at this point is identity politics. So if the Democrats take away the chance to run the first female president because they already, screwed the pooch by, I should drop that.
Oops.
They already messed up themselves there. Yeah, I don't think they'll take away the opportunity to run the first female president in this next election and have that because they wanted 2 months of Kamala, so they could say, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, true. By the way, I reported this earlier in Kale & Co., but that's in New Jersey. So this is Border Patrol, ICE. They're trying to make room for 600 additional beds, North Jersey and South Jersey and Trenton, as they prepare for the new administration. So this is real, all of that with regard to Border Patrol and so on. So if you want to comment on any of these issues, of course, 855-839-1210 is the number to call. And then, of course, moving forward, we'll have to talk about the other issue, and that is what broke yesterday with all of these cases crumbling as far as all that lawfare, the persecution that was horrible, that was aimed at Trump. It's now all going away. I told you so. Remember, I told you so. And even people were like, really? You think all these cases are going to go away? They're all going to go away. And the fact that they're so easily going away, I know that you can't with the Supreme Court. You cannot obviously have these charges against an incoming president. But the truth is, if I'm a prosecutor in any capacity, even if I'm retiring, I'm not if I really think somebody did our nation wrong, I'm not going to shut up about it. And you just don't hear anything. Nope. It's like, yeah, we lost the election. Bye-bye. I'm going to take my federal pension. You know what I mean?
It's just so transparent at this point. It's, it was lawfare. That's all it was. Nothing more. And now they're just proving it to everybody.
It's a sin.
It's great to see.
It's a sin, America. It's a sin. Don't let them get away with it.
You were mentioning up in North Jersey preparing more beds for this possible, deployment of the deportation plan. And I don't know, did you hear the Denver mayor, what he had to say about the whole situation?
Let's hear.
Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan, has said that he is willing to arrest leaders like yourself for standing in the way of these policies that they want to enact. Would you be willing to go to jail for these things?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that. And I'm also not seeking that. I think the goal is we want to be able to negotiate with reasonable people how to solve hard problems.
You would encourage people to protest?
I think we're going to look at every option. But yeah, I don't think that there are, I talked to some high school kids this week who were terrified about this. I don't think those kids are going to stand there and watch 3 of their classmates get pulled out of a history class with the other 27 stand by and do nothing.
Tom Homan did respond to this last night, Dawn, and I have that audio as well. Let's cue that up. Here we go.
Tom, you heard this mayor out there in Colorado. I want to get your reaction to it, and I want you to be clear about who has jurisdiction, the federal government or state and local governments. And if you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking the law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S. You'll see these breaking the law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute. It's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III. And what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear, we want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it. If he don't want to fix it, if he don't want to protect his communities, President Trump and ICE will.
Boom, there it is. He's Tom Homan, you're the best, and we thank you as your incoming border czar, and we know that you'll make America safer again. The only little thing I'll say is that don't say me and the mayor. You don't say the me first. I have to say I have to say this.
Every time I say Henry and me, I get someone that says, "Come on, Dan, really?"
Well, you don't say me and the mayor. You say the mayor and I. The mayor and I have something in common.
When I say me,
I have to say, I have to say that. I have to.
Yeah, no.
Like the mayor
and
I, blah, blah, blah.
You don't have to. You just want to, and you do.
So if you're going to be the border czar, just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. I love you, though. I love you, Czar. He's the man. And I love the way he's just, boom, he says it like it is. Okay, good luck with that. We'll lock you up, Mayor. Good for you. I I love the little holiday feel music. Are you ready for the big turkey day? You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding for years now. You know I love the work they've done in my home, and I appreciate their professionalism. You know by now, if I needed windows, doors, siding, I would only trust the Chapman family team. Did you know they also install shutters, which obviously are a perfect complement to your new windows? So for the month of November, tick-tock, time is running out. You got to do this because Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding is giving away a pair of shutters when you purchase 2 pairs. The right shutters obviously really enhance the curb appeal of your home and make it look complete, beautiful. Whether you or somebody you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, shutters, the hardware choices, I want you to just give them a call, text them. They're local, like-minded, 610-431-8898. You can always check them out online, chapmanwindowsdoors.com. Take a virtual tour. Look at the before and after photos. chapmanwindowsdoors.com. chapmanwindowsdoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
The forecast continues to improve through the day today with increasing sunshine. It'll be breezy and mild with a high around 62. Tonight, partly cloudy, less windy, will be chilly, low 38. And for Wednesday, some good travel weather, partly sunny and cooler with a high 53.
Need new doors and windows, but not high-pressure sales tactics?
If so, give Emmons a call today. At Emmons, we provide top-notch installation service with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction with brands like Anderson and Provia Windows and Doors.
And you can upgrade your home today with our energy-efficient options, which help save you money.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Wawa's Hot Turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because Hot Turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out.
I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything.
Have you tried shopping jewelry television, JTV?
I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different.
JTV has thousands of jewelry styles. Artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax?
Yes. Another round?
Yes.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
So we talk about these cases. They're all going away against Trump. There was action yesterday in court. This has to do with Jack Smith. So the J6 case, the documents case, it's all going away. It's all unraveling. But you know who pays? And these are the latest numbers. Department of Justice, through Freedom of Information Acts. I'm looking at a Newsweek article, but there are many business channels who've picked up this story, so you can look for yourself. But the report is... Just for a moment, what do you think the persecution that we paid for of Donald J. Trump? Just make an educated guess. What do you think? This is Jack Smith's office. How much did they spend in persecuting Donald J. Trump? How much? Just give me a guesstimate. What do you think? 855-839-1210. Dan, what do you think? What's your number?
Sorry, what was the question there?
What do you think it cost we the people for, this is Jack Smith's office.
Yeah.
Not even the big nut, not even the big number, but just Jack Smith's office on persecuting Trump in these cases.
Are we talking like NFL quarterback kind of numbers?
$50 million.
Oh, wow. Daniel Jones kind of numbers.
$50 million.
Ooh.
You know, you think about, hey, we still don't have air conditioning in our Philadelphia public schools.
Yeah.
Except for, you know, thanks for Jalen Hurts did buy some of the kids, right? He spent a couple hundred.
Why the heck is our NFL quarterback having it? Yeah.
Right.
One of them, yeah.
But $50 million, could that buy air conditioning for our city schools, and not just Philadelphia, but probably New York? I don't know if they have HVAC in all of their, in all their schools. Think of $50 million. Just flush your hard-earned money that's just sucked out of your paycheck. And this Jack Smith, he gets to walk away. So he's like, oh, okay, my time is done. Yep, he won anyway. He won the election anyway. Bye-bye. I'm going to retire. And he gets a pension and all that good stuff. And then all of this goes away. And they go, oh, well, oops. To me, this is horrible that this is allowed. And so
30% of schools don't have air conditioning in Philadelphia.
See, I don't know what made me think of that, because it's a kind of a dreary day out there, but I just... you think of the needs of different people, as far as, you think of our veterans, and you think of all these different groups that could use better housing, better care. Think of $50 million. And this is where we're getting ripped off. And so they spend all this money and all this energy. And by the way, they were not going after, stuff like these human traffickers, or just trying to find the missing children. 320, I have to stop myself, a third of a million missing children, these migrant children that are in this country, according to Border Patrol, 320,000 missing children. I'm trying to think of a city that size, just to wrap my brain around what that looks like. A third of a million children missing. What is it?
Newark, New
so
Jersey,
think of, so imagine,
300,000.
So imagine imagine Newark, just all the people vanish. They just, where'd they go? What happened?
It's crazy.
And everybody's panicked and looking for them, except nobody is. So you think of just...
back to your school point, I looked into this.
Yeah.
When Hertz paid for this. Inquirer article, the ins and outs of Atlantic City, I almost said, of AC, of air conditioning. Though Hertz paid for air conditioning units themselves, a larger tab was picked up by the district. It cost between $1 million and $1.5 million per school to upgrade electrical service enough to run air conditioning units for every learning space, said Paul Bonowitz, the district's executive director of facilities management services. So if we do the math, Dawn, we're talking 40 to 50 schools that you're talking here could have been retrofitted for air conditioning.
Imagine that. And just proper HVAC. Where they have the proper filters and whatnot, the modernization, to have it heated properly, to have it air conditioned properly. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be nice? But no, this is they just waste our money. So looking through Department of Justice, all these, because they have to, because we pay it, so it's public information. But all of these financial disclosures between Smith's, time and his office, how much they directly spent, employee salaries, and then all of because they had to contract out some kind of work, litigation, investigative support, IT, computer services. They had to pay for transcripts, I guess. Unbelievable to me. I want to see all this. That's what I'll be doing over Thanksgiving. I want to look through all. Do they get to expense their travel, where they stay, what they eat? We got to look through that.
Eddie in Concha Hawkins got some questions.
You got some questions? 855-839-1210. Hey, Eddie.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call. I just got done work and turned the radio on and just heard a little bit about the $50 million bill you're talking about. I was wondering, isn't there any way pertaining to this case and future cases where if these people are filing fraudulent charges and witch hunts and they lose, they should owe us $50 million.
Yeah.
And like in other words, and now the Democrats, whatever you want to call them, they're starting the nonsense with the sanctuary cities. They're not going to listen to the rules. He's breaking national, he's just messing the country up. They got to stop.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. They just got to stop.
Yeah.
He won by a landslide.
Yep. People
want what he's going to do, but how about some accountability? I guess that's why they don't want him there. Hold him accountable. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so true. Thank you. I appreciate you. And by the way, the 50 million number, because DOJ, as I look through this, they still have to release the numbers from last spring through now. So we still have, so that's not even all of it. So it's at least, that you can guesstimate, but it's going to be at least, let's say, 11 million more. Unbelievable.
Avery's got some great points as well.
Hey, Avery.
Hey, Dawn. How about all the other money that we flushed down the toilet chasing Trump around, like Russia, and the impeachment hoaxes, and the nonsense down in Florida and all that? I wonder how much all that adds up to also.
Yeah. No, it's you think about just this one with Jack Smith, but you're exactly right. At the end of the day, I do want to see these numbers, and I want to keep following up, because we the people, we should know how much they just ripped us off and wasted our hard-earned money, which, by the way, could have gone to good causes, important causes in our country, right? But
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Avery. I really appreciate you calling in, and you're exactly right. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So when you think about, we don't have the numbers yet from last spring, let's say April, May through now. So I will follow up on that, but I want to go through all these reports. And yeah, even as we learn more about January 6th, I will be so curious to see how Trump handles that, and then to learn how much it cost to put all of those people who, and I'm talking about the misdemeanors, where people they had to hunt them down. Remember that on social media and so on, using all of the facial imagery and all of that. They had to hunt people down. I look through, I've told you, I see the arrest coming in. It was like 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. It was right before and right during the election period. There were still J6ers in our area who were there at the rally being questioned and or arrested. And some of those were misdemeanor cases. How much did we pay for a misdemeanor, non-violent situation? And yet on the other side, you have different offenders, let's say gang members from other countries coming in and wreaking havoc. Imagine if they had just gone after those violent criminals that continue to plague our communities, burglars. I have a relative burglarized in the burbs. I think I told you about this a couple weeks ago, and the detective said, this is the work of these individuals who are the cartels or the Venezuelan type gang members who are hooking up, I guess, with the cartels. So maybe they're getting a little bit of a skill set as burglars. Ay. What a mess. It's a hot mess, Dan. All right, we have to take a quick break. I have to talk about dinner time.
Yes.
Are you hungry?
I am.
Hungry for lunch? I'm going to make you really hungry because I'm going to talk about Woodacrock.
You didn't bring me anything?
I know. Woodacrock.com. Here's the thing. It has been so hectic, and I'm really grateful because Woodacrock just saves me every time. You know, I don't always have the time, even though I wish I did, to make a homemade from scratch meal. I actually did last night. I made a homemade from scratch meal. But a lot of times I don't have the time, and Woodacrock just is a lifesaver. So these are delicious, easy to prepare meals. They make it so simple. And really, when I say prepare, here's how I prepare. Ready? Are you ready for this? Plop. You hear that plop? I just plop one of the meals in the slow cooker and turn on the on button.
That's very appetizing.
Yeah,
sound.
Plug it in. Oh, yeah, that probably doesn't. Yeah. But you just literally just place it into the slow cooker. And then I go about my day. When we come home, dinner is waiting and simmering. You walk in the kitchen, go, and I hear, "What's for dinner, Mom? That smells great." Unlike most meal kit companies, there's no prep required. Cleanup is so quick and easy. It's as simple as just, like I say, drop the meal in the slow cooker and dinner is one and done. There's no subscription and no commitment required. And that's an important piece of this so that you can order exactly what you want, when you want it. If you want a subscription, you can do that. You have the option, but it's not necessary. It's also a great gift, especially maybe you have a college kid who's not coming home for the holiday, or maybe after they go back and you want to send them a home-cooked meal, maybe somebody, new parents or a friend who's just out of the hospital. Really a great gift and delicious. Make sure you use promo code WPHT at checkout. You get $10 off your first order, Woodacrock.com, code WPHT, $10 off your first order. These are delicious, slow-cooked meals. They have appetizers, the homemade chilies, an assortment of those. And some of their dishes are just incredible. So whether you feel like a little Mexican flair, whether you feel like it's like grandma's meatballs, they're just scrumptious. So good. Woodacrock, dinner made easy. Order now, Woodacrock.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
It must be nice to not worry about how you're performing in the ratings on television. You're overpaid and you're not worth remotely close to that. Because I got to work in radio where every day is the Super Bowl. But that's fine. Double down, Anna.
Is it possible for these women to have a conversation without them all speaking over one another?
Well, you know what I do now? Since you guys can't stop talking over each other and we've got the 12 of you on the set, because you got so much to say and you won't shut up and let the other person talk. So in order to justify your bloated, worthless salary, we're going 9 to noon.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Thanksgiving is a time to surround ourselves with loved ones and give thanks for the blessings that are bestowed upon us. As Thanksgiving kicks off the holiday season, crash-proof consumers can enjoy celebrating with family without any financial worry.
Elsie White, and I've been with Crash Proof since 2018. We are very, very thankful, especially at this time of year with Thanksgiving. We are so thankful that we can be reassured that our money is secure and that Crash Proof is really looking out for us.
Terry Robinson, Westchester, Pennsylvania. Being Thanksgiving week, I want to extend a real thanks to Crash Proof Retirement. We've earned money. We haven't lost any of our assets. We're very grateful.
Anthony Torelli, Clifton Heights, Pennsylvania. This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful that I made the move to Crash Proof Retirement. We got double-digit returns. We're not going to lose anything. We can continue on this pathway to success with Crash Proof Retirement.
Happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Crash Proof Retirement.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Dennis Church on Eagle Road in Havertown, Saturday, January 18th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
I noticed that when you urge people to action,
Yes.
you often include the word
Peacefully.
Is that to avoid another Jan 6 type incident?
With all due respect, it's to avoid people like you guys saying that I'm anything but. My motto is to just be super cute, have my data and facts, treat everyone with love and respect, and as you can see, an army of people will follow.
Now I've been happy lately.
That is Scott Pressler, our very own Scott Pressler, The Persistence, being interviewed. And this is a hit piece by CNN. Shame on CNN. Shame on you. I don't know who this low energy reporter is, but she had attended the infamous local, meeting where Scott Pressler spoke against illegal action by two commissioners who we talked about. One, Diane Marsaglia, who apologized because she was wrong and she went against the law. And the highest court in Pennsylvania ruled against both commissioners, saying, no, you cannot count those ballots. What you've done is illegal. Now, CNN didn't report on that. They just did this weird hit piece on Scott Pressler. Has my blood boiling. I'm so angry about it. You're angry, right? I mean,
I'm really annoyed with it. And what annoys me most about it is one of the things that is the best about Scott Pressler and the entire idea of conservatism, and it goes back to our guest AJ at the top of the hour with the whole wokeness and identity. Scott, I don't know. I've never straight up asked him, but he might be a gay man. He's flamboyant to a degree. And throughout the entire interview, they kept referencing, Scott, you used to be involved with Gays for Trump. And it's almost like they were trying to bait conservatives into caring that Scott's gay, and that should diminish the great, amazing work he's done. And newsflash,
we
CNN,
don't care.
We don't give a damn.
We don't care.
And that's the entire point, is you try pushing this identity politic bull crap over and over on us.
Boo.
And you know what? This guy is amazing. I don't care what he does in his personal life. He's a great guy, identity, aside. And that's a great thing about conservatism is merit. If you're good at what you do, you advance. And the society we live in that the left is trying to push, this identity woke crap, no, that's not where we live. And gosh, I'm so happy that you had the same reaction. I was livid to hear that over and over again. Oh, you were involved with Gays for Trump. What do you have to say to that? Who cares?
We don't care.
No,
Amen, brother.
No, and I'm so happy there's something like Gays for Trump. Welcome it in.
Yeah, that's right.
Join us.
We're inclusive, but in a good way. But yeah, this makes me so angry. And Scott Pressler, he is a great citizen. And what did he do? They had the banner up that said provocateur and controversial. Why is he controversial? Because he got citizens to vote, and he got the Amish to vote. He got different groups to vote for the first time, some of them in 20 years. Why is that controversial? Why is he controversial? Because he's a conservative, right? That's it.
Yeah.
But Scott Pressler, we love you. We do. We appreciate you. The community knows what you did. And I thought it was wonderful that, Dan, you and our great Dom Giordano, that you had the opportunity to put him on the Talk Radio 1210 WPHT Mount Rushmore yesterday, along with Linda Kearns and so many other just great patriots. That's it. But the fact that they want to call this guy controversial or a provocateur, no. He's not controversial. The board members, right, the ones who, voted to do something that was illegal, and they got caught. That's what happened. They got caught. They're only apologizing. She's only apologizing because she was caught. And now I guess he's controversial because he has vowed that he'll work on Bucks County.
Yep. They're scared of him.
They're scared of him.
That's why they're highlighting him. That's why they're doing this hit piece on him. And, great stuff from Dom yesterday with the event. And he went into detail on the whole idea of why he went to capture that Amish vote. And just the creative thinking that this guy has that Republicans you weren't seeing here in Pennsylvania. And now you see people replicating it nationwide. Great stuff from Scott. Really good stuff.
Thank you, Linda Kearns, for the olive oil, the beautiful note Thank you to Linda Kearns. I know it was a great event. I was not able to make it at the last minute, so due to a medical situation with a family member. So I'm sorry for that. But just kudos to you. Congratulations, Dan. Congratulations, Dom. What an incredible, and I know that it was like standing room only. It was, from all the video and pictures I saw, just a jam-packed event because people want to thank the Scott Presslers of the world, just great patriots, great citizens coming together with people. It was such a grassroots effort, Dom, and I know you had a blast yesterday.
Yes, Dawn, thank you. Absolutely. I want to play Scott Presler. It's about 25 seconds of it because more than just their attacks, we know they're coming.
Yeah.
It's the way that he handles it. It's a seminar, in my view, on how to handle this. There are other people that do it differently, but I wouldn't say it's passive-aggressive. It's just saying that I'll answer whatever you want. And when he says the word peacefully, they seem to object to it, and he explained why he uses that.
It's to avoid people like you guys saying that I'm anything but. My motto is to just be super cute, have my data and facts,
he is super cute.
treat everyone with love and respect, and as you can see, an army of people will follow.
Yes.
Great stuff from Scott there.
He is super cute. He is. I love the guy. Love that hair. I think everybody's envious. Even Greg Stocker is envious of that hair. I tell you.
He's trying to get to that length. I don't know if I'll ever get that there.
Well, I know you've got a great Dom show ahead.
Well, thank you, Dawn. Have a good Thanksgiving.